Welcome to Ear Shifter. He's Rene Rouleau.
And he's Sean Capstick. And Sean, what are we doing here?
We have a special episode because today's episode is brought to you by the letter W. How much do you like W, Rene? Why is W important to us?
I don't know, but I seem to like a lot of bands that start with W and a lot of female bands that start with W. So I don't know what's going on.
Are you part of the National Association of W Lovers?
Maybe, but it just occurred to me, woman starts with W. Did I just blow your mind?
Whoa. So for the younger listeners, so the first episode of Sesame Street ever was brought to us by the letter W. And to quote Bert on a later episode, he welcomed everyone to the weekly meeting of the National Association of W Lovers. We are gathered here today to pay tribute to the great letter W and the wondrous sound it makes. Whoa. Do you want to hear the song he sang?
I think I don't, actually.
I think the listeners do.
Oh, all right.
Oh, what is the letter we love? What a sound are we extra fond of? It's not any trouble. You know it's a W when you hear whoa, whoa. And it goes on and they list words that begin with W. It's great.
I was waiting for them to rhyme W and I was like, woo, that's going to be a toughie.
Trouble and W is pretty close, though.
I don't know. I think our artist that we're going to be talking about can do better.
Yeah, well, and who are we going to be talking about, Rene?
We are going to be talking about Waxahatchee.
A good W name.
And we both love her, which it really is just her for simplicity's sake. It's Katie Crutchfield. And Katie Crutchfield started Waxahatchee in 2010 after the breakup of her previous band, P.S. Eliot, which is a pretty cute name, I got to say.
It is a cute name, yes.
And P.S. Eliot, do you know who was in P.S. Eliot?
Her identical twin sister.
Correct.
Oh, not identical, sorry, her twin sister.
Yes, exactly. So did you listen to P.S. Eliot?
I listened to them a little bit when the Snowcaps first came out because I wanted to see a little bit about the history. But no, I kind of liked it. I can't remember if it's mistaken memory or a real memory that I remember hearing some of those songs because they're, and the name is pretty cool, right?
The name is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they started in 2007 and they were kind of like a pop punky sort of band. 16,000 monthly listeners still to this day. And I think they did 2 full albums, a couple of EPs maybe, but they disbanded in 2011 after they kind of felt like they'd done everything they needed to do and wanted to do. It was pretty amicable as it reads. And also some of them were living in different cities at the time too. So the whole thing was just not really working anymore. And some of the members wanted to do other things. So they just decided that they were done and everything was cool. And then Katie started her own sort of thing with Waxahatchee. And do you know why she called her band Waxahatchee?
Named after a river, which is a funny name for a river in Alabama, right?
She's
from Alabama.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty weird, and it did feel a little bit random, but her first album was actually recorded in her family home, in her parents' home. So I guess it was just there, and it inspired her because that first album talked a lot about kind of family and struggles and that kind of thing. And the fact is, she recorded that album in her bedroom. In her family home. Who does that remind you of? Sean Capstick.
In the bedroom of her family home?
Who recorded an album in his bedroom?
Is that Car Seat Headrest? That was in a car.
That was in a car.
Okay.
There was a movie just done on it.
Okay, I'm blanking here.
Whoa, Nebraska.
Oh, that was his. Yes, okay. That some guy. What's his name? Bruce. Yeah.
My favorite album of Bruce Springsteen. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I got. Okay. Yeah. That was a rented bedroom. He was a troubled adult. It wasn't like
very different. Yeah. Very different for sure. But I just thought that was interesting in and of itself. That she recorded. Go ahead.
I did read that those lo-fi albums that we'll get into have been compared to the Nebraska, the haunting, broken songs and broken people type response. So we've got that looking forward to. This is going to be an uplifting episode.
Well, yeah, those first two albums, they are a little delicate and a little sad, which is why I love them so much.
I know.
And actually, like Nebraska being my favorite Springsteen album, there's some upbeat songs on that album, whereas her first album, American Weekend, there is not a single uplifting song on that album. And I mean that in a good way. Because
I know. And before we get into that, I got a question. How did you hear about Waxahatchee? Like how, because I've been talking around Waxahatchee over this last few episodes, but you introduced her to me, but for sure, right? Like those first albums were not on my radar.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but you were like, you need to listen to this band. It's great. And so how did you find her?
I honestly don't fully recall, but I suspect that, do you remember I had that subscription emusic.com back in the day?
Back in the day, yes.
Forced me.
The second most popular streaming service.
Well, it's weird because it
not
wasn't
anymore, but at the time, yeah, it wasn't a streaming service. It was a record store. It was an e-music store.
Yeah,
yes.
technically, I had a monthly subscription, so I was forced to explore
to get
music.
the credits, or you lost them. Yeah,
or I lost them.
Yeah, it was good.
It was awesome. So I suspect I found them then because that was when I was doing that.
And you got me to subscribe to eMusic as well. I was an eMusic subscriber for a little while. I had that weird little player and downloaded the MP3s.
I didn't know
onto
that.
my new is old. I read an article that kids are tuning into iPods now because they want to be separated from the screen. They can't be away from music, but so yes, on our newfangled iPod devices,
crazy, and records, not to mention records. But so anyway, that's the way I suspect I kind of bumped into her, so to speak, and I instantly took a liking to her, as I would naturally. American Weekend, it is one of those albums that I actually can't listen to too much because even if I'm in a good mood and everything's going great, if I listen to that 5 times in a row, I actually start to get affected. And so it's like Tom York's Eraser. Mm-hmm. For me, it's kind of lethal for me that I can't listen to it very much. I have to literally set a limit to how long I listen to it, as much as I love it.
So when I asked you to please do Waxahatchee because I want to talk about her, you knew that you were going to have to listen to that record, which is a pleasure but a pain a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure, but I just have to stop. It's too much of a pleasure. So I have to literally say, okay, 4 listens. That's it. You're done. Because it is a vibe. That whole album is just a lonely, sad, beautiful vibe. And, in terms of the songs, I actually think I picked the saddest song on the entire album to share with our listeners.
When you told me to listen to the lyrics or to read the lyrics, yes, I think it's it's okay. Well, maybe you should play it, and then we can talk about. People can see just how sad we're talking.
Yeah, let's give it a listen.
I heard phone calls under the warm water, and malice to know it woefully recurs, and it plays like daytime TV shows. I confuse you, and I tell you not to love me, but I still kiss you when I want to, and I lament you're innocent. Somehow the object of my discontent, it's fucked up. I let you in, even though I've seen what can happen.
Okay, so that is a very melancholy, introspective song that when it ends, she's moving past that she's really playing with another person's emotions. And she says, well, I'll get busy and I'll move on and I'll only think of it when I'm in the bathtub. That's a pretty, it's real, it's raw. It's
delicate, vulnerable, all of those great things. And that is why I love it. And even Nebraska's slower ones, as raw as they are, I don't think they come close to this. Like, they're so intimate. These songs are so intimate and sad.
She's, whether it's autobiographical or whether she's writing from a very first person perspective, I think it might be the former. Springsteen was always writing from a character, right?
Yes.
Like, he did not kill people. Not,
He also, by the way, didn't ride a motorcycle or know how to drive when he wrote Born to Run. He did not know how to. Well, he drove, but illegally.
Okay. Well, he's a good writer of other people's emotions.
Yeah.
I think, whereas, are we going to call her Waxahatchee or Katie?
Yeah, let's go Katie from now on.
It seems that Katie's writing from the first person singular in her parents' bedroom with self-produced.
In her bedroom.
In her parents' house, in her bedroom, very first person.
Very much. And when you listen to that album, except for one song, Sean, called Luminary Blake, it's really just her, an acoustic guitar, sometimes a piano, but there's no drums, there's no electric guitar. That's it.
Yeah.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
You really feel it. And I love that. So this album, believe it or not, and I literally had to triple check this because I'm like, what? But I love it. New York Times gave this one of the top albums of 2012. Pretty wild. And NPR, actually, the most upbeat sounding song on the album, which is not terribly upbeat, by the way. It's called Be Good. And I like that song, but it is the most upbeat song, and NPR called it Song of the Day at one point. So, but my favorites are like Catfish, Mikkel, the singing on Mikkel or Michel, she never says it, so I don't know how you pronounce it, but Mikkel, the singing is so powerful on that one. It's just, give that one a listen again if you haven't already. Please, listeners, give that one a listen, and if you like sad songs, it will be your jam. But Bathtub is the saddest song on the album.
We're jumping all over the place. You've seen her in concert.
I did.
She's not playing any of those old songs anymore, right?
She is not.
So when I saw her as Snowcaps with her sister, she did that song. They did some P.S. Eliot covers. They did some Swearin' covers, which is her sister's band.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
And she played that song. And it was very... she just played it on the guitar. The rest of the band kind of just sat around and, maybe, shaked a little noisemaker or something. And it was very melancholic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But powerful, right? But it can suck the wind out of the room, but I think in a good way. Just one of those magical moments. So yes, I did see her. We're kind of jumping the gun a bit, but I think we're both so excited about this one that we are all over the place, and I think that's okay. So I did see her. I saw her after the second album that we're going to get into in just a moment, Cerulean Salt. So the thing about Cerulean Salt is if American Weekend is really just her acoustic guitar and piano, she starts to explore electric guitar, but doesn't go much further, maybe a couple of melodies. Couple of songs have some drums in them, but she's easing into it. I just find that so interesting because when we get to Ivy Tripp, you'll see that she actually does a major transformation from there.
But she was in a band. P.S. Eliot was a full band. They played. I mean, so it wasn't like she's a newbie or just, was totally only in her bedroom and playing with an acoustic guitar, which is a nice kind of interesting, origin story. But like she went to that from being in a band. That was maybe one of the reasons that, that P.S. Eliot didn't keep going, right?
Yeah.
That she wanted a very, very different sound.
Yeah.
But before we go to the next album, which is a little bit more, it's got more instrumentation. It's still very lo-fi. How would you compare American Weekend to a singer-songwriter acoustic? I don't think there's much instrumentation, but I'm thinking A Distant Shore by
Tracy Thorn.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to recall it, to be honest with you. I am a fan, of course. But when I think about Everything But the Girl...
Which is totally different, right? That's a band. It was only an EP. I remember it well. Listening to those first two albums made me long to hear A Distant Shore.
Yeah.
So, and I wonder in retrospect, because I know you like Tracy Thorn a lot more than I do. And again, we're playing to our strengths here, but like, I really like that album. And And that was very much, to me, in my recollection, I think they're similar. So who knows? When we listen to it, maybe it'll be completely different.
Well, now we really are going all over the place, buddy. But you're going to be talking about Tiger's Blood at some point.
Yes.
There's a song called 365.
I love that song.
At the end of that song, who is the homage to? Do you know? Did you recognize it instantly?
No.
It is an homage to the Carpenters. She literally pulls the Carpenters' Rainy Days and Mondays and does like just the last 5 seconds. And it's a clear homage. It's not an accident. She's doing it on purpose. And I thought, wow, Carpenters as an influence is a really interesting choice because they are super sad, right? Like, my God. And I used to listen to them quite a bit too in my early days, in my teenage years, let's say, right? Like, because they were sad has always been my vibe. And I thought that was really cool and really interesting and so obvious, like to a Carpenters fan. It was like, wow, that was very cool.
Okay, so to a Carpenters fan, so you can forgive me for not...
100%, dude, 100%. I was in a deep Carpenters thing for about 6 months, and then I pulled out of it and listened to The Clash.
Good. Okay, so the second album.
So the second album, Cerulean Salt, I've mentioned already, it's a little bit richer, but still, like you said, the lo-fi, sad, lonely stuff. It comes out in 2013. And we even got some bass. I think there's a couple of songs with even some harmonies in it, but it still feels very intimate, right? Like it's still a very intimate lo-fi album. This one is co-produced by the members of Swearing, which is the band you mentioned, which is the band that started in New York City with her twin sister, right? So that band is the band that her twin sister started in New York.
After P.S. Eliot broke up.
After P.S. Eliot, thank you. After P.S. Eliot broke up. And this album is actually not recorded in her bedroom in her family home. It's recorded in Katie's basement. So she's really just kind of doing the same thing, but just in a different space. With Cerulean Salt, Katie is not solo anymore. She actually has musicians that are with her, and it's a little bit more collaborative, and she actually likes that. And I suspect it's because she's like, Waxahatchee is my band, but I'd like to collaborate with others versus a P.S. Eliot where it's like, we're all in this band. I wonder if that was a different dynamic, perhaps, right? So that probably made her, because she really did. She keeps commenting on, I love the collaboration. It really helped me.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting. The album's themes for Cerulean Salt are all about growing up. So she said, a lot of it is about realizing that your childhood is over, that your innocence is gone. When you're a kid, you're always happy and everything's good. And then you realize that's never going to be how I am again. And that's kind of the theme, which actually reminded me of Neutral Milk Hotel, Jeff Mangum, and wanting to cling to that innocence and that childhood. Okay, so on this album, there's kind of this one song called Coast to Coast. And it does stand out from the rest in that it's kind of a banger. She's starting to not lighten up, because I don't want to say that, because I love her first album and her second album is and The Sadness. But Coast to Coast has some energy to it. And of course, we're going to see in the next album that she actually applies more of that energy. And actually, lyrically, I felt like it was not super sad either. It's just got a super fun feel to it. Maybe lyrically, it's a little bit sadder, but not crazy sad. But for this album, there are a few songs that kind of do remind me of American Weekend. There's Tangled Envisioning, You're Damaged, and Swan Dive, which is the most played song on the album at 2.9 mil. That kind of harken back to that debut album. They're beautiful. They're quiet. They're just her and a guitar. Just beautiful. But I would have to say that Dixie Cups and Jars is probably my fave on this album. And it's funny because, okay, Sean, so we've talked about normies, right? The normal
your
people.
Your term, yeah.
Yes.
I just love everybody.
I know, but I'm telling you that most of my friends, family, etc., are normies, and normies are the ones that just listen to the radio. And so I create these playlists for the normies that come over every Friday night. And in that playlist, I will pepper some songs I really love. But the playlist, I mean, I do like, obviously, or I wouldn't make it. But it's to please everyone in the normies, but also pepper in some songs I really love. And every time, the reason I'm telling you this is because every time I play this one playlist and that song comes on, Dixie Cups and Jars, I swear to God, every week or every other week, my friend Lee goes, "Who's this?" I'm like, "It's Waxahatchee." He's like, "Oh, yeah. So, Dixie Cups and Jars works for some others too, and hopefully I'm slowly getting him introduced to Waxahatchee. So I think we should listen to Dixie Cups and Jars. What do you think?
Let's listen.
Let's listen.
I watched her dad give you away. I watched him drink the bitter taste and his exertion away. Makeup sets on your face like tar. The champagne flutes poorly engineered. Employ Dixie cups and jars. Like minds let go of doubt. I watched it blow right out, and we danced on gaps and graves. You're a man, I will find a way to leave gracefully.
Okay, so you gave me a heads up on that one. So I looked at the lyrics. So I have no idea what she's talking about on this song. Like,
Okay.
which is often really good because there's many different interpretations of a song. But Whipper in the Wind is the way it opens up, or solace laying at the bottom of a bottle. And so that's a really powerful line, right? Because you can find solace in the bottle of a friend. That's a Junior Gone Wild quote.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
Junior Gone Wild. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Another great alt country, type band.
Toronto?
No, they're from Edmonton.
Oh, my bad. Canadian.
Canadian, yeah. But, solace and drinking are things that typically people don't say out loud in lyrics. And then she's watching a friend, I think, get married, and the father of the bride, my interpretation, is drinking the bitter taste of his exertion of giving her away, and talks about champagne flutes being poor. So she employs Dixie cups and jars.
So it kind of paints a picture, right?
It paints a picture, and then she fills up her jar to the brim, and then has another lovely alliterative closing. I am an arid abyss. So it's like it's pretty dense, right? It's and she sings it in a lovely lilting voice that is,
but haunting too.
Haunting, yeah. And the song is melancholy, but the lyrics are pretty dark.
Yeah. And rich, I would say too. They paint a picture a bit like Wednesday, right? A bit in that regard. So, Sean, I love this album. I mean, I really do. And I'm not alone on that. Critically acclaimed. Pitchfork gave it 8.4 out of 10. Spin gave it an 8 out of 10. And Metacritic gave it 79 out of 100. And Metacritic is an aggregator of a whole bunch of critics. And so this is where I saw her live for the very first time. 2014, she played the Great Hall. Folks, Great Hall holds, I think, a capacity of like 400, maybe 500.
Yeah, a good venue. Yeah, big open room.
Big open room. But I mean, I gotta say, there was maybe 300 there tops. And she was great, of course. Her voice live, as you know, is incredible. But I will say that she was kind of quiet and she kind of felt somewhat shy. Which is weird because she was in a previous band, right? But maybe, she's out on her own and she's still kind of finding her feet. And I feel this is so weird. I was telling your wife this. I feel like she was wearing a baseball hat the entire time, like kind of low, like she couldn't, like she was almost not making eye contact. But I don't know if that's in my mind or if that's real, because I tried to find some images from that concert and I couldn't find any. But I feel like she was definitely wearing a baseball cap.
I have seen her wearing a baseball cap in concert.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Now, a Kansas City cap, which the initials are the same as hers, and she's living in Kansas City now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've seen her with a baseball cap.
Okay.
And she was very different when she was playing in snow caps because she wasn't the leader. She was part of a band.
Yeah.
But I think maybe when she talks about collaboration, and maybe the reason why she had to do these solo albums is because it's difficult for her. Because at some points when the band is jamming, she got up, and this last time I saw her, she got up and she sat at the side. It was kind of like, okay, band, you play, and then I'll come back up and sing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's she does have a presence, but it's not like a huge presence, and she's a very small person.
Yeah. But actually, I was going to save this till we got to Tiger's Blood, but I think I'm going to talk about it now, because when I went and saw Waxahatchee with your wonderful wife, thank you, Deanne, so much for last minute inviting me. That was one of my top 25 concerts of all time, which I told you right after it. Oh my God. Like for me, dude, from 2014 to 2025, when I saw her, it was a different performer. Like she was calculating. She owned the crowd. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was super confident. She was opposite of that 2014 woman on that stage. And I was so impressed with her transformation. It really, truly blew my mind. I didn't even feel like I was watching the same person. She was on fire. She, walked into the audience at one point. She sat on the edge of the stage for the intimate moments. So engaging, so great. Okay, Sean, so that takes us to our third album. That album is called Ivy Tripp, and that came out in 2015. Now, this album is a serious departure. It's poppier. There's synthesizers on it. There's tons of keyboards on it. There's 12-string guitars on it. I love this album the most out of those first three albums. And
Even more than the melancholy.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because this album is more diverse, just naturally, because it has poppy songs, but she still does some throwbacks to the American Weekend, like she does some sad songs. It's got a beautiful mix. There's one song that just felt almost anthemic. So real variety in here that just keeps me going, and I'm able to listen to it more than 4 times without getting depressed.
Okay, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing for sure. So this is my favorite album of the first 3. The most played song on this album is a song called La Luz. And for good reason, because La Luz is an upbeat, fun, like just a total 180 song for Waxahatchee. And it works lyrically. Hopefully you can comment on that once we give a listen. But should we give a listen?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Okay, Sean. So yeah, I love that song. I feel like it is, look, it's not super positive because it is about a lopsided love, but there's some positive lyrics in there a little bit here and there, scattered, if you will. What do you think?
I didn't get in the lyrics as much on this one as the other two.
Fair.
There's a lot of do, which I think is great. I like the feels of this song. I think it is a departure. When this song comes up, when I'm listening to, like, I'm like, oh, I can bounce around to it, right? Like, it's a nice poppy song.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. All right. So let's talk about the actual album and what Katie said about the Ivy Tripp and why it's called that, etc. So it's really just a term she made up, but it just describes directionlessness, specifically for 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and 40-somethings. And it's not necessarily following the complacent lifestyle of our parents or our grandparents. So that's the theme of the actual album. So why is there a second P on Tripp? Well, I'll tell you why. It's a homage to a friend of hers that passed. So that person's name started with P.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made this album so different?
Because she's got a bob on the front cover.
Cool. I love that. But she did switch. So I was like, what changed so much for her, right? So I was trying to, like a detective, trying to figure it out. So first two albums were with Don Giovanni Records. She now switches third album to Merge Records, parts amicably, by the way, with Don Giovanni, but switches to Merge Records. So I'm like, well, maybe that was a variable. I don't know.
I like, we like Merge Records. There's been lots of bands that have been on Merge Records that we've been talking about. So, yep.
Exactly. But the other thing is, she and her then boyfriend, Keith Spencer, a member of Swearin', isolated themselves for almost a year in a house in Holbrook, Long Island. And they did it just to hide out and make the record at their own pace. And she said that was really important to me.
Hideout meaning like they didn't see other people. They didn't
get into it, but I think, probably some isolation, maybe not as extreme as the story implies.
And this is pre-COVID, so they did it to themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. For this album, it was literally just the three of them, Keith, her, and the other member of Swearin'. And maybe that helped too. Maybe it was just the fact that she said they were very collaborative, the three of them, and she loved that again. And honestly, Sean, man, for this album, I really struggled to pick just one more song. I think I'd pick them all, to be honest. This is a no-skip album for me. This is a no-skip album. Like, I love this album. Like, the opener, Breathless, is powerful, and it's got an almost church organ to it that is just amazing. Under a Rock, anthem-y, confident, energetic, not delicate at all, opposite of the last two albums. Poison, also powerful, nothing like the first two albums. But I think I'm going to go with Summer of Love.
Okay.
Just because, again, it's kind of got an uplifting feel to it. It's really kind of a bittersweet kind of memory of a love that has since faded, but it does have an upbeat feel. So let's give a listen to Summer of Love.
Okay.
I lose the thought, and I'm here, reaching for poise as I'm speaking. Conversations are dry, and I absolve. Playing alert, but I'm sleeping. I gave it up, the mistake. The colors allure me, but I can't make out a face in the picture. Palm trees. The summer of love is a photo of us. The summer of love is a photo of us. The summer of love is a photo of us.
Okay, so the feels of this song, again, is so nice, and I love the closing lyrics of "The summer of love is a photo of us." Yeah, so she's no longer thinking bad thoughts only in the bathtub. She is thinking that, there's a personification of love.
Yeah, although it is still a sadness to it because it's an old photo, right? And
Yes.
she's like, so, she can't fully get away from that. It's powerful to do that. But God damn it, Sean, there is one more song that is my favorite song on this album I would like to play.
You said you were going to play two. I don't know if you could just go with a flow like this, Rene. You were not happy-go-lucky, just whatever goes on the Ear Shifter podcast.
Well, you're right about that, because this song is the opposite of Happy Go Lucky. It is the most depressing song on this album, but I love it. Can we just hear it?
Okay.
Okay, so this song is called Half Moon. It's very much like her first two albums. It's just her and a piano. So let's hear it.
We fuck up our rhythm. This idea is a curse. I invite myself in, and I think I kissed you first. But this glimpse at the past, it is tattered and tried. Our love tastes like sugar, but it pulls all the life out of me. Out of me.
Okay, so again, I think, we're going to talk about this more, maybe on part 2, Sean, of Waxahatchee.
I
don't
think
know.
you've taken all the time. Yes.
Sorry, man. But so let's have a part 2 of this one. And I think, lyrically, I feel a little bit of Wednesday, a little bit of Carly, just in terms of like the lyrical power of Katie. And this one lyric in that song blew me away. And it goes like this: our love tastes like sugar, but it pulls all the life out of me. And then she echoes out of me. And it's just, when we were listening to it, I said, I got goosebumps on my arms from this song. This song blows my mind.
It affects you. That's great.
It affects me. Yeah, it affects me. So, okay. So that's the first 3 albums, Sean.
Okay. And we don't have any time left to talk about the next albums. So I guess we're going to have to wait and make our listeners wait to hear her transformation. And I think it is quite transformative. And Rene, I was thinking, you're a little bit melancholy. I'm a little alt country.
Yes.
And we're both rock and roll. But this is where she really does embrace, from these albums on, she really embraces the alt country. She sings, she's got a fuller band. It really, there's a real departure from this. This is the last of the lo-fi era of her, right?
Yeah, although I would argue Ivy Tripp is a hint to where she's going to go.
It's an evolution for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like you can, the song, the albums really do evolve, and her confidence, her ability to have a bigger space, a bigger sound, I think grows as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we can talk about in the next episode.
Yeah.
But Rene, I got a question.
Okay.
So we started with Sesame Street.
Yeah.
When we lived together, who was Ernie and who was Bert?
Oh, wow. Huh. I feel like I'm Ernie, no?
In some ways. Like, you're the extrovert. You were always dragging me into your zany adventures.
Yeah, and I'm the goofy one of the two of us, I think.
But I don't like pigeons. Bert was a big pigeon
Oh,
fan. Like, he had very small hobbies.
Okay.
And pigeons, paper clips. I can't remember the other things that Bert...
Start with P?
Yeah. So I think that's the obvious. But then I was thinking, like, you were much cleaner.
Oh,
you wanted to
interesting.
clean, you like to have, you didn't like to actually use the kitchen.
That's because I had no interest in cooking.
Yeah, and so I remember messing the place up a few times and be like, oh, come and join me on my adventure cooking. And you'd be like, no.
Wow. That was a meanie.
So that was more Birdish of you.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I can see some elements of Bert in me for sure. My family would attest to it. Yeah.
It's good. I'm glad Bert does like W. So if I am like Bert and my love for the W, so let's till next time.
We don't have to give hints.
And talk about more the evolution of W's.
Yeah, let's do it. Until next time.
See ya.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Ear Shifter. Tune in next time where we'll cover another band that deserves more. You can find Ear Shifter on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Friend us or listen to our playlists on Spotify and visit earshifter.com for more information. Special thanks go to our logo designer, Stuart Thursby, and our intro-outro music by Joe Novak. You can find him as Bye Bye Badman, one word, on SoundCloud. And a big shout out to Joe for being our awesome sound engineer / editor. Until next time.